I told you that last night. It's too late when they're 5 years old. By that point, you already know if your kid's gonna be a little asshole and if you need to abort it.
I don't like videos. I'm lying. I do like videos, like recipes and shit like that. But other than
Oh,
that,
so that's why you're getting the cat videos.
oh, they want me to cook cat.
What's up, and welcome to Political Deviance. And what else to talk about today than the debate? The exciting, riveting debate.
The boring ass debate.
I mean, we were talking about that last night. Do you think Trump did poorly? Well, I don't know if you think Trump did poorly, but if he did poorly in your mind, do you think he's doing poorly because people are telling him to not be Trump?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. He seems overly restrained. The reason it wasn't boring last time is because Biden was fucking himself, so that made it entertaining. So him showing restraint last time worked in his favor. I think him trying to show restraint this time fucked him.
Yeah, it's like people are telling him to don't attack her,
Yeah,
personally, and don't attack her race, and don't attack her um with insults and stuff like that. But that
yeah,
is the Trump brand,
yep. He's
and
not on brand.
he's not on brand, and so he comes out boring and just, or is he just older? Is he just older and doesn't have that fire anymore?
No, I think they're coaching him to be that way. Because if you see clips and shit from his rallies, he still seems like old Trump. But I think he's being coached to be restrained, which again worked the first time against Biden, but it's fucking him now. He just comes off as like almost like he doesn't even want to be there, kind of almost.
Well, it kind of gets to Kevin's point last week where he's like, I wonder if Trump doesn't really want to win.
I don't think so, man. I don't think Trump's about losing. I'd be
Well,
very
that's
shocked if that
well,
was the
hold on.
case.
That's why he. I think. I mean, he may not be about losing, which is why he hasn't actually just said, "I don't want to do this anymore" and walked away. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna quit. But I don't know if he's giving. I don't think he's giving. It's not. There's no passion for it. I don't think. I don't think he went. I still don't think he's had any passion. I honestly think that the attempt on his life, like, just changed his outlook about how much he really cares or wants it. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
I
see
feel
it.
like Trump is doing it so that he's got too much pride to be, mocked or to have people say he quit or gave up, so he can't resign. But I don't think his heart's actually in winning either. I think it's one of those things that he's just going to go all the way to the end and he's going to be like, well, we ran our race, we tried, we did the best we could. I also think going in, we know, and I know people will make excuses about it and so forth, and they already are, and on both sides. But I think he also knew going in that this is not he's not going to have any allies on that in that room, right? Like, I've seen stuff where people are posting it was 3-on-1, last night against Trump. And in a way, it really was, and we knew it would be because the media. Everybody should just be honest. We know that, yeah, Trump probably is not as smart as Trump thinks he is. I'll be the first to say that. I've been saying that since day one. Um, he tells I don't know. It feels like a stretch to call him just a liar because that's the easy way out for people that are um, politically aligned to just automatically assume that the other side is lying about everything all the time. Get the fact checkers and so forth. But Trump speaks very loosely off the cuff. I mean, like even Kamala, there were some times where last night when she was like trying to call him out on things, or things that the president did this and he said that, and I was like, I can't remember what it was, but one of the examples was, it was like, clearly, it's like, you realize, like, when he said that was completely. I think Trump even pointed out, he's like, that
The
was like sarcasm.
bloodbath. The bloodbath. Oh, the
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was talking about the
She
bloodbath.
said
They
it's
always keep
gonna be a
using the bloodbath.
bloodbath. If he loses, it's gonna be a blood. I'm sorry,
When
y'all.
Trump
It's
was
gonna be a
talking,
bloodbath. If he loses, he said it out of his mouth. He said it's gonna be a bloodbath.
when it's
And
obviously taken out of context because he meant that Ford was going to take such a hit economically, financially, that their
yeah,
numbers were going to be a bloodbath.
yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And even then, when people say bloodbath, he didn't. It's not Sparta. Okay, let's take it down a notch. He wasn't. He doesn't. That's the thing too. This narrative, like, it's funny that everybody's mocking this whole cats and dogs thing, because it's like one of those, like, it may be, it actually may be happening. There's nobody who can prove it's not. You know what I mean? The only proof.
Well, there's actually more. I went down that rabbit hole. There's more evidence pointing to the fact that it is happening than there is evidence pointing to the fact that it is not.
Well, what I mean is, you've got the city manager or whatever saying, like, no.
Well, yeah, of course. It's no different than any politician making it seem like everything's all fucking rosy, right? Like, it's not like Biden's suddenly gonna come out and be like, God damn, fucking it. I'm
Well,
really fucking up
Chicago.
this inflation shit.
Here's the
You
thing,
talk to
though.
blacks in Chicago, and the immigration, the crime they say is not happening from the immigration community. The black people in Chicago, you can go on any group, talking about even the ones that hate Trump, are going to tell you that Chicago's got a super problem right now with crime, and most of it seems to be coming from, at least as far as black people are concerned, that I've seen, is that it's our group feels it's coming from the immigrants.
Hey, man, why did it take you so long to say that? Are you scared or something?
No. What do you mean?
Listen, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with the whole cat thing. Is it true? Is it not true? I don't fucking know. I really don't. I would I put it past it being true? No. I really, if it's happening, it's happening. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I'm not going to say there's absolutely no way that's happening. But that's where Trump gets in trouble, because that's what people are talking about, that he's not disciplined enough to keep the debate where it needs to be, right? Like, he spouts these things that make him sound like a conspiracy theory. He could have just said something like, look, there's stories coming out of certain cities. We don't know if they're true or not. However, it lets you know that there is a problem with immigration, so much so that people are starting to come. He's like, double down. No, it is happening in certain cities.
That's
it's like,
such a good.
We don't
That's
know
such a
that
good
yet.
point. We didn't even hear it. You froze up.
Son of a bitch. What I was trying to say is that this goes to the whole thing, the whole cat thing, whether the story is true or not, goes to the point that Democrats and some people in the Republican Party make, that he's not disciplined enough to, or it doesn't have the temperament to be president, because it comes out with these ideas, right? Like, whether it's true or not, Trump should be disciplined enough to give him a more presidential answer, if you want, a political answer, because that's what they are, politicians, right? And say, look, I don't know if these stories are true or not. However, immigration is so bad that people in these cities are complaining and bringing up things that might or might not be happening. God damn it, man. My response was much better before I froze. It came out so eloquently, and now this time it came out like shit. Basically, I'm trying to say Trump doesn't know if this is true or not. By saying that it's true and then doubling down, he comes out as a fucking crazy old guy, instead of waiting for the story to develop and see if it's true.
Well, it just depends. I mean, he may already have decided that it's true. Every one of us, and when I say he decided, I don't mean like because he's crazy. I mean, we all have to look at something, right? And then we all have to decide if it is true or not. It goes back to, like, when people talk about COVID, right? Or hell, keto or Ozempic. we have to look at the negatives and the positives based on what a lot of it comes from social media. You know what I mean? And here, because the Democrats do the same thing. They'll make these claims, these vast claims that it's just like January 6th, right? We still talk about that. Like, there are two different opinions about what happened that day based on who you want to believe. There are people that make it sound like it was like Les Mis, right? Where the Proud Boys marched on the city and the brave police fighters and and security were like in like fist fights and gun battles. You know what I mean? Like the way that they make it sound like it was like they were carrying their tiki torches and to make it they conjure up this image of like the city was under siege. And then you see footage and and the Republicans were saying, "What? We all just walked everywhere. And it was just like, chill." And it was it wasn't this revolt that happened, a violent, destructive revolt. There was less. Then we look, and there was less damage to Washington D.C. than there was to any of the other places during the previous protests that happened with other groups, especially from the left. They didn't have no chop that was set up in the middle of like DC, right? Where they took over and said, this is now a no authority zone for, for the police or whatever. That happened in what, Seattle or Washington up there? You didn't have anything that happened like you saw in Baltimore, right? You didn't have anything like you saw in Flint, and in Michigan and these other places where they were literally rioting and burning places down. But then when you talk about that, the left turns back around and goes, "What? It wasn't like that at all." It's like you go back to the whole Kyle Rittenhouse situation. The whole reason Kyle Rittenhouse, that situation came up is because some kid went out there playing, hero with his gun. But there were people in the streets doing stuff that made that situation happen. You see what I mean? And so both sides have a tendency to exaggerate. Trump, I think, he just doubles down on his beliefs. And over time, who's going to double check this stuff, right? Like, there are people, because now,
ABC moderators.
Well, no. What I mean is Beto went down a deep dive. I started looking around. It's weird how you got one side that is completely trying to mock it like it's crazy that like this thing is happening. Then you have the other side, which is actually going, yeah, well, you got these other people. And then you have somewhere in the middle, you have, the fact that it might have even happened at all. It wasn't like Trump pulled it out of thin air, which is the crazy thing to me. But he's pulling it out of these, and it's not just reports. You got people at city council meetings, right? People of color.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say, though. Like, the problem with Trump is that he's not disciplined enough to say there are reports coming out that people are eating cats and dogs. He states it as fact. There's people eating dogs and cats. So he comes out like a lunatic. Huh?
Well, there are
could
people.
There
no,
could be,
I will go on record saying that there are 100% some people, just like there's some people out there who, like watching, who would pay big money to watch me put my feet in like pudding so they can jack off to it. The thing is, it very well may actually be happening, and I think I need to go back and look. San Antonio had a situation very recent. Beto, you may have remembered seeing this, where the Riverwalk downtown has has ducks and things of that nature, and you're hearing these stories of like of homeless people like killing these ducks. They're just public ducks, mainly because they're friendly, because they're used to being fed, right? And so they come up to people, and the people are basically killing the ducks and doing whatever they do with them. But it's not far fetched because
maybe all those ducks were rapists,
and they deserved it.
They deserved it. They were so you got this homeless Dexter type character. That's a
Hey, but
vigilante murderer of duck rapists.
here's the thing, though. What's wrong with taking ducks and breaking their necks and eating them? Shouldn't that be an anarchist like Kevin's dream world, where you can just go and hunt for your own food?
Yeah, I thought the right was about hunting.
Uh,
Well, they're not the ones
no
complaining.
regulations.
Well, the thing is, I think when it gets to, I don't think they really care about ducks. I think it comes down to, like, if people were taking my dog from my backyard, right? But then also, here's some. I saw, that someone had posted, like, they're like, I think it was like Springfield and somewhere else. They did what I thought should happen, and it's going to fall on deaf ears. But they were looking at the data of missing, like, of reports, like, from, like, next door or something, of people whose pets are missing, and so forth. And there has been an increase in pets coming up missing. Now, I can't say 100% that it is, any immigrant group, because I'm not just going to lay it on just one, but I think Trump's was basically saying it's Haitians, right?
Well, if it was Mexicans, it'd be street tacos.
Yeah.
They
So it must be the
street
Haitian.
tacos, opening
Yeah,
a
I don't
taco
see any
truck in every
street taco
corner.
stands in Springfield or wherever that was.
See, here's the thing. If Trump had said that in Arizona they're having a massive problem with, like, cockfighting rings popping up, like like cockfighting.
So how does that
gambling.
work? Like, guys just go whip it out and, like, start,
No, you know what I mean.
like,
The-
banging
Like
each other's
lightsabers?
cocks against each other, like sword
It's like
fights.
the old school pencil fights where you try to break each other's cock.
Wait, what? What pencil fights were you guys having?
But you remember the ones where you take the pencil, you like bam, try to
Yeah, I
snap
didn't
the
call
other
the other
guy's pencil.
guy's pencil a cock. We just said it was pencil fighting.
Well, except now you do it with a cock, not a pencil, because we're grown-ups now.
Yeah,
but he said that was illegal.
except I'm like this.
If he said illegal immigrants were, like, they were starting up these, dog fighting rings, these like they're causing increases in cockfighting rings, would people have had as much of a reaction?
Well, the
other
thing
thing
is,
too is he's talking about immigrants. When you really think about it, I think people are looking at it like as trying to say something about Mexican immigrants, Asian immigrants, Haitians. Do they eat
again,
dogs?
I think the problem is that this isn't proven yet. If it's proven, which again, I don't put it past anybody to be doing this shit. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's not proven yet. And so it makes to the middle, the people that's already kind of think Trump is crazy, so they might not vote for him. This reinforces that. Like, he has so much data about immigrants in New York who are getting free money to go and buy houses, or immigrants in other places who are increasing crime, like in Chicago. Like, you have so much data. Why are you bringing up people eating cats and dogs?
Well, I think because first of all, the way you just said that is offensive. You realize that my dog and my cat are like, have you seen people lately? I know you live out there in, like, the forest somewhere on your private compound or whatever, in your bunker, right?
I do have a bunker.
But have you seen people the way they are with their pets now? Have you actually gone on and looked at real live, especially the non-colored people?
All right, let me ask you something, Kevin.
People are pushing their dogs around in, like, strollers and things.
Yeah, and they're taking them to massage therapists, and
they're taking them to real therapists.
If you were Tulsi Gabbard and Trump said, "I'm going to bring up people eating dogs and cats," what would you have said?
I would have said more. I'm almost sure. I'm
almost sure. Bring up rabbits and parrots. And...
well, here. Do you know where Tulsi's from?
Hawaii.
Okay. Do
Hawaii.
you know what the larger populations of Hawaii are?
Samoans?
No.
That's
No, those
other-
are those Samoans are those cookies that the Girl Scouts sell, the ones with the coconut.
yeah.
Those are Samoans. They're pretty tasty.
Those are
Samoans are
Samoas.
Oh,
They're
sorry.
not-
Samoans are pretty large.
There's a large Asian community in Hawaii. And I'm not saying anybody does anything, but let's not act like other cultures around the world don't routinely eat dog as just a way that it goes, right?
Okay,
Especially
hold on.
large
I got
Filipino community, right? So she's from Hawaii. When I was a kid, this was a thing that was still being spoken of with no trace of it wasn't jokes, it wasn't racism, it wasn't picking on things. People, when I was growing up, you would hear something like, my dog ran away, or or my dog is missing, or I haven't seen my cat in a few days. And people would actually be like, you live near a Filipino community, right? Now, I'm not saying they're doing it. I'm not saying like the races, but it does happen. And I think if Trump had had a more measured response to it, because like you're saying, it might. But I think also she went at him hard on that. I think Tulsi Gabbard's probably pulling that up because it's something over there. It's not really considered a joke. I'm sure everybody, if Hawaii is a battleground state, Trump just won it on this. At least he won, because the prevailing thought is they're like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you eat some free dogs and cats, right? Like that's what's going to happen if you're hungry. Haitians, the Haitian community, they just talked about what 20,000 Haitians coming into the U.S. or something like that. If you've seen Haiti or whatever, those people did whatever they had to do to survive, and they still are doing whatever they had to do to survive, to get out of that place, but even to live. And
With all that violence and shit happening over there, and people leaving because of it, and the gangs or whatever taking over, do you at some point, start saying, maybe it is a shithole country?
I don't think anybody's ever not said that Haiti is a shithole country.
No, yeah, Trump got a lot of shit for that one time. Remember?
I think it's because I think he that was when he lumped in several countries, and it was the other countries. It's like and he's like, you look at Haiti, you look at Brazil, you look at Honduras. These are shitty countries, and it's like, hey.
That's the worst Trump accent I've ever heard in my life.
But I mean, to pivot, it's the same thing. I mean, the left does the same. It came down to the same argument. They had moments. I'm trying to remember back. Kamala said something, and I was like, "What?" Like it's happening all the time, right? And again, nobody's nobody's pulling up to say like to correct her for that. I think it's just a matter of it being Trump, and he's going to stay on focus on what he cares about, especially when challenged on a point. He's one of those guys that's going to go back, and he's gonna the more you tell him that it's not right, the more right it's going to be.
So, what do you think, Kevin? Did Trump lose last night?
I don't, and here's what I'm going to say. I don't think either side won. I don't think either side lost. I think that both sides are going to walk away claiming they did okay. Because, and I say just okay. Now, the left will probably, by large, try and tout a lot of this as like a win or something like, damn, look at her. But then when you look at it, even in that victory that everybody's taking on the left, the victory lap that Kamala, go girl, she won this one, boy. Woo, she came out strong. It's not that she came out strong because she didn't say anything that made me think like she's going to be a better president or that she's a better candidate or this and that. She didn't come out and win. Trump just didn't come out and like dominate. You know what I mean? Like he didn't. It's just he didn't. The needle didn't move hardly. She didn't make him be a bad candidate. She just made him be Trump, and Trump didn't seem to care enough to do
But
anything
that's the
else.
problem, that she was trying to make him be Trump, but Trump wasn't allowed to be Trump. So Trump came out like
Yeah.
a flat Trump.
Yeah, if anything, it's not that she won; it's that Trump. Well, I guess you could.
Well, she didn't win. She just did a little better.
I don't think she did anything. Honestly, I think she came in as herself, and I think everybody was expecting, like Juan's saying, that for Trump to either come out and look like an absolute madman, or to come out and make her look, like they wanted to see him mix up. It's kind of like when you get a UFC or a boxing match, and all the buildup you're expecting, like because you know there is a winner at the end of these fights, right? Because they have to declare a winner. But it's like when you get like that winner by like split decision or something like that, and it's a very boring fight where both guys like took a couple jabs here, and they're adding it up by rounds.
Yeah, so neither one. It's just one did a little bit better.
I'll be
One
honest.
did just enough.
I'm going to be
better.
honest. I think Kamala did actually do a pretty good job. I thought she was coherent. I think that's the piece that you can.
I think they both were coherent.
I think you can take that away. No, that's what I was trying to tell Beto last night during the chat, is that Trump had so many opportunities, and even Republicans on Fox News were talking about this morning. So many opportunities to just destroy Kamala during the debate. So many. But he rambles so much. He's somewhat incoherent, and he uses hyperbole so much that you kind of lose interest in what he's saying. That was a problem with him. Like, or
Yeah.
he kept on going back to immigrants. That's another thing I saw. I don't know if it was a TikTok or something about how everything was immigrants. Hey, Trump. So what are you gonna do about the war in Ukraine? Well, immigrants is like, what the fuck? I'm exaggerating a bit, but that was kind of what it was like. And I was like, dude, I get it. They told you to bring up immigrants and inflation, but not every answer is immigrants and inflation. But I think that the other story is, to me, is Kamala sounded like well rehearsed. There were rehearsed answers. I get it, but it sounded well rehearsed. She got her point across. Trump did not get his point across as clear as she did.
But that's why she did better, because to people like us that are free thinking and we, dare I say, smart people, right? You're gonna do your research. You're gonna look at the nuances of the answers and shit like that. But to the average dumb voter, which the majority of the country is, even though it's rehearsed answer, they're not thinking, oh, she rehearsed her answers.
It's
to
very
them,
topical.
it's like, she's smart, or Trump rambles, or they just see the that part of it, right? So I on the flip
and that's
side,
what
though,
I'm trying to allude to.
I think on the flip side, though, Trump did well to the dumb voter on the right by sticking with with immigration and with inflation, because that's what the dumb voter. It's like that one. I'm gonna do a Kevin here. It's like that one Family Guy where Lois is running for mayor or some shit. Remember? And then eventually she just starts saying 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11. It's that same type of shit, right? Like it's immigration and inflation, and that's like the talking points for the dumb people on the right.
Yeah, but that doesn't win you shit anymore, and that's a problem. Like that.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think I don't see any winners or losers here. I'm coming out on this saying the majority of people who went into this, first of all, I don't believe this middle of the road America nonsense. I think that's hubris. I think that there's that most people that are saying like, I'm still undecided yet. I can be convinced. Like I'm independent minded, are doing so because, like everything, just like the dumb people in the election, just like the people who, like Beto was just talking about, the most dumb Americans, everybody is about being seen and feeling special. And that it's a human trait. We want to feel special. The reason we have this show is because
We want to
we
feel
want
special.
other people to care about our opinion, or at least find our opinion entertaining. You see what I mean? Like we do.
Kevin's pulling a Kamala right now, just like she's stealing Trump's policies. Kevin's stealing my thought. I was the only one saying this out of us three a while back about there is no such thing as an independent. I was the one bitching about that.
No, I've always I've said that.
No,
Yes,
It's
I've said
no,
that.
it was
I've
me,
said
and
If
now
it
you're
makes-
stealing my
because how
thought.
many-
If it makes you feel
how many
better, if
times-
it makes you feel better, Beto, I still believe there's a middle, and that's how elections are won. Because again, we've seen parties switch sides. It's been like Republicans, and then Democrats win, and then
Yeah,
Republicans
but I don't
win,
think
and
it
then
has to
that's
do
my
with
Democrats win.
middle.
point.
You know, because I know that's a common argument, and I don't think that's completely factual. You know why I think the pendulum swings is because you might get a bigger turnout by one party or the other. I don't think it has anything to do with independence. I think, and you see that more now too. Like it's kind of, I think what Kevin was alluding to is now it's the cool thing now to say,
Yeah,
oh, I'm not a Republican or I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. That's like the cool hip thing right now. It's cooler than it used to be. You know, it's more of that people trying to feel
But
special.
I don't
Like,
see it just because I know people who actually truly were not going to vote, and now they're going to vote Kamala.
they're
Or
lying to you.
people.
Yeah, I mean, how do you
And you get,
They're lying to
it's
you.
funny that you guys call me a cynic when I do the same shit, but then you do the same. They're lying to you.
No,
Hey,
but
drop
I
some names. I want to know who this is, and I'm gonna interview them. Who changed their mind? Who changed their mind recently?
Yeah, I have said forever. Like these. It's like when I see these ads running now. It's like, well, Liz Cheney has put her support behind Kamala, and it's like, you mean the Cheneys who never liked Trump, and when Trump was still a Democrat, he was talking shit. See, people forget these things, right? You go back and look during the Bush years, and you look at
Trump's
what Trump
always talked shit about Bush and Cheney, even when he was president. I mean, going back fucking decades.
Yeah, and then Mitt
So
Romney.
you're surprised, but we're surprised now that they're not gonna back Trump. Well, no shit, he's been talking shit about you.
And Mitt Romney, who got tossed out of the Republican Party, maybe Mitt Romney should focus on this whole shit about sister wives and all this stuff coming out about the Mormon community, right? Like maybe he should keep his mind on that right now, other than like worrying about what other, like what Trump, who supporting the people, the Taylor Swifties, right? There are people, she's going to sway more votes in any direction than I think any candidate would at this point, right? Because and even then, I don't know if that's true, because I think the people that follow Taylor Swift, they had already made their minds up. You're not going to tell me that
again. It's kind of my point that I was making a minute ago. Is I don't think she's going to sway votes. I do think she's going to make people excited to go vote. You know what I mean?
Or just encouraged. Yeah, it'll be a bar.
It's more of the encouragement to do something that you might have not otherwise done.
For Taylor, right?
But
like
your mind's already made up. Their mind's already made up. It's just now she's making them excited to go do it, because it's like, oh, I want to impress Taylor, even though she doesn't fucking know you actually went and voted, right?
Yeah, like for example, like I'm not voting for either candidate because I just don't like either candidate, and I don't like either party. But
I'm voting Trump just because I'm petty. Just because I'm a petty bitch. Because I don't like the
see. But
the
you just said that people have their minds made up. But let's say,
I've had that. I've said that since they were both announced. Nothing changed. Neither one of the debates, even when it was Biden and Trump, I said the same thing. I'm not voting for either one of these assholes just because they hot swapped in, Mama Kamala, like at the last minute. It's the same difference to me, right? And that brings up another point of why I think this debate was also boring. But and probably to Trump, because Trump's like a big kid. He really is. He's like us, honestly. Trump should be on this podcast. We ought to invite him on. Trump, we're inviting you to come on our podcast and hang out for a bit with us, a bunch of guys. Yeah, we're going to talk about grabbing pussy and stuff, but in a good way. So, nobody's going to mock you here for it, and our audience is going to give a shit, all 5 of them. So, but like before that happened, we already had this debate, okay, with almost the same talking points. And it's like, and that the people that are asking the questions, right? Anyone from right-wing media or from left-wing media, whoever you had out there was going to ask the same things that they've been asking for the past like 8 years. Not even the past 2, not the past 3, like going back to like Trump's first administration. And so if you are not Team Trump now, this debate was not moving you in any direction. If you were not Team Kamala, I don't care if Trump came out there with 100% facts, and Kamala sat there and she was like, "Well, damn, take it easy," like shit, she would have they would still ride or die with her. And I think people have long since already made up their minds. We're a month out from the election. I don't, you'd have to be living under a damn rock and not know who either one of these candidates were and come in completely fresh, right? Because you had 4 years of Trump. You had now 2.5 years of Biden and Kamala. And I thought that was funny that she's like, Trump's talking about Biden so much. And I'm Kamala. I'm not Biden. I was like, you were part of the same administration.
Okay? Yeah, she
Okay?
practically is Biden.
Yeah, and you're the policies, and in the next sentence, she literally was saying like, I supported Biden's. Okay, well, if you supported Biden's policies and actions, then you supported Biden. You supported those actions. They were your actions because you're.
But that's my problem, and that's why I'm saying Trump fucking failed. Because Kevin, you're making a coherent response to Kamala. You are convincing me right now of how Kamala is the same extension of Biden. You're making it coherent. You're using examples, but Trump couldn't fucking do that last night. And that was what was frustrating me, that she was basically pitching him out there. The moderators weren't, but Kamala was pitching him out there to him, and he couldn't fucking knock him out of the park. That's why I think she did better. Well, it goes back to
what you and Beto were saying. What you and Beto were saying, it goes back to that, where I think Trump was coached. Do your best not to attack her.
He's being coached to, like Beto said, he's probably in his head so much about not saying the wrong fucking thing that it stifles anything he wants to reply with. Like, you go back to that Clinton-Trump debate, dude, the fucking zingers in that debate. Even against Biden. I was about to say, even against Biden, he had zingers. So,
but it's also that situation. Even then, we felt that Trump was being restrained or half-assing it, right? And then it turns out, but Biden just took it like, I guess you can, lose yourself, right? But when he came out of it, Biden's the one candidate that walked away, and his whole party, like, but Trump did have a zinger about that.
Yeah.
Because he did point out that, and that's what I was getting to with this debate. We've been over all of this, and we've heard it, and we've heard these exact same answers from both sides, right? They're using the same rhetoric. It's just all they did was they paused the game and they put on their black woman suit, and then came out and tried to they subbed in another fighter. It's like like they pulled the quarterback out and benched him, and they put in another quarterback, but he's still from the same playbook, right? On the same team. But Trump actually had that zinger or whatever. He's like, and then you threw him out like a dog.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one right there.
And I was hoping old Trump would have followed that up with, let's just hope the Haitians don't get him. And that.
Oh man, that would have been that would have won him the debate right there.
Yeah, I would have been like, You would have had all the
He,
memes and
he would have
everybody
changed all the independent voters.
See that
He would have changed all the independent voters with that line.
But so that line would have been good. But the line of they threw him out like a dog. Maybe it's just me because I'm not a fan of Trump to begin with. But to me, that's the same old fucking thing that he says all the time. He said that in many debates before, and then you threw him out like a dog, or then you treated him like a dog, or you did this like it's
well,
like
not debates.
it's like
It's rallies.
no, he's done that at debates too, during the primaries and shit like that. Like,
well, no, because Biden hadn't been thrown out yet.
no, I'm talking about he's used it before for other for other opponents.
The phrasing.
So and that's where I think Kamala kind of did a good job of saying it's the same old fucking thing, because I told you guys this maybe like 4 months ago, that the problem with Trump is it's stale. It's the same old fucking thing. So I think she kind of hung to that last night. I think she did do a good job with that, because it is the same old thing. You threw him out like a dog. It's the same old fucking saying. Like it's boring now. It's I'm done with it. Like I don't give a shit.
I actually would have harped more on the fact that they threw Biden out and like they slid her in without getting votes, and man, I would have harped on that fucking topic.
That's what I'm saying.
He fucking 5 minutes.
He could have demolished her last night. He has so much ammunition, and I think to us that's why we feel like there was no clear winner, because we know what the Biden admin has done.
Unburdened by what has been.
Yeah, we know. We understand that Kamala and Biden's policies are not good. Like, we don't go with that side to begin with, so we can kind of see what Trump was trying to get to. So to us, there was no clear winner. But to people in America, I think that's why there was a clear winner, because she was coherent. He would ramble. And
because she had the same problem in a lot of ways. Again, to swing it the other way, there's also no clear winner, because she didn't take. She did the same thing. She kept returning to certain things. Like she was really trying to drive home this criminal aspect, but I think she kind of shot herself in the foot on that, because she kept going back to like, we got this guy. We have criminals. I'm used to dealing with criminals and criminals that blah blah blah, right? And I'm thinking, didn't you also have people that you were not just presumed innocent, but clearly innocent? But either way,
again, though, but you're proving my point.
But hold on, let me finish, because I wasn't actually going that way. I was saying how she kept pointing out like all the charges, right, and then trying to relate that. But as a prosecutor and now wanting to be president and having been a senator, she should be familiar with the concept, one of the leading concepts of this country, that you are innocent until proven guilty. So being all these charges, especially the ones that were dropped, she didn't make that point.
It's almost like you think she's a lawyer or something, and she should know this.
But she didn't say. She said that there was charges coming. Trump has been found guilty, though. I don't. Where did she make that mistake?
Okay. She was pointing out all these, and then his criminal acts. He's not, but she was saying that all these. She's pointing out all the things. If you're going to say he is a criminal, then you point out that one case.
But she did. She said.
But she brought up his impeachments, and at one point she's like, well, "This man is guilty, and that's why he was impeached." And it's like, whoa.
No, he's guilty and was impeached.
No, but my point is that she did that on purpose to try and tie them together. But then she would just keep coming back.
But you're still proving my point, Kevin.
But then Trump would say, "Yeah, but then," and he did at some point. He was like, "Yeah, but all those charges are dropped, and the other ones are being appealed." So my thing is, she should have made a point to. I mean, you're a prosecutor, you know these things, and then you also know that a lot of times guilt and innocence is based on what evidence you have. You have a civil suit, because I think she brought up one of the civil suits and tossed it in there as well.
Yeah, that he was liable for sexual assault. But you're proving my point, though, that to us who keep up with politics, we understand politics. We understand. We know some of Biden's bills and policies. We know Trump's policies. We know what bills he passed. We know all this. So to us, we can tell like, oh yeah, Kamala, but you did this, or Trump says some stupid shit. We're like, yeah, Trump, but blah, blah, blah. We can fight it in our head. Like Beto said, the normal uninformed voter doesn't know this. So they're going off what Kamala is saying or what Trump is saying. And so the only reason I think Kamala had the edge last night is because Kamala was more coherent. She was able to bring her point across more clear than Trump. Like whether you agreed with her points or not, she brought a number. She told you what kind of things she might do. She had the policy laid out where Trump speaks in generalities and hyperbole. So that's the only reason I think to the voter out there that may be undecided, whether you believe there's voters undecided or not, she did have the edge. Again, I don't agree with what she said, and that's why I was so frustrated with Trump not hitting hard on that because, dude, the fuck up of Afghanistan, the inflation part, the immigration part, he could have fucking destroyed her last night. Like we said, Vivek would have destroyed Kamala last night. I think Nikki Haley would have destroyed Kamala last night. I think almost any other Republican would have destroyed Kamala last night. And that's what was frustrating about Trump. He couldn't, even though he had the opportunity. And I think that's what a lot of Republicans are saying also this morning is, dude, he missed so many opportunities. Lindsey Graham said it last night, actually.
Is that different? I think that's the difference. And I'm wondering, like, is that going to be like, I don't think it's as much she won or he lost as people are disappointed.
Yeah.
And part of it, and I think part of it even on both sides, I don't even think Democrats are fully convinced that Kamala really won this, this thing. They're taking.
No, they are. They are convinced. That's why they were.
No, I think
literally right after, like mere minutes after the debate, her team was already asking for another debate because in their delusional minds, they fucking
but they
blew it out of the water.
But they in their delusional minds, but in the polling that was done, they actually did blow it out of the water. If you looked at the polling, I know it's CNN, but CNN's poll when Trump and Biden went against each other, Trump won 60-something to 30-something. In this one, Kamala won 60-something to 30-something. So their polling does tell you.
So that shows you that the polling is so fucking skewed that you got the same results with Biden being Biden and last night's. You're telling me Trump did as bad as Biden by your polling results.
What I'm trying to tell you,
that's how skewed those results are.
What I'm telling you though is that they're skewed, but they're not skewed to a certain side because last time Trump won by that much. This time Kamala won by that much.
What I'm saying is they're obviously not accurate in the least because
no, you can take
by those numbers and those percentages, you're telling me Trump did as bad as Biden.
What I'm telling you is that regardless of how bad this polls might be skewed that you think, there was still a flip-flop in who won that debate. Whether it's 50 to 40, it's still a flip-flop.
It's much as one as who didn't lose. And there's a difference between those two, looking at it from those two different perspectives.
No, there's no difference because
I think people are disappointed in Trump. I think what they came to, because it's entertainment, right? Like one of the things I brought up, I think when we were talking in our group chat, was the fact how gauche is it to have a presidential debate, what may be the only one we get depending on the situation, because going in, that was one of her big things, right? Is that they were talking about is that she wasn't really agreeing to any other debates, right? But going the fact that in the middle of these, like they're taking breaks for commercial breaks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
I don't know what you're saying.
Here we have these presidential debates where we're trying to decide the leader of our country, how we're going to address the issues that are going to happen. These are the top two individuals to, we're basically electing a king and queen, and we got to take a break so I can watch an ad for the latest, like for what movie, like there was some movie that had a trailer like during the ad break, and I was like,
because it's all about the money, baby. It's all about the Benjamins.
But it's like, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is so American. This is so capitalist. It's insane.
You would think ABC, would not be for ads because that's capitalistic, and being on the left, they should be anti-capitalist, right? They should be doing this for free.
Nah, see, I think you're going with the socialist movement on the left. Not all the left is not. Kamala told you last night she owns guns. Like, just because you're left of center doesn't mean you're a fucking socialist.
I would love to see her guns.
What about Tim Walz?
Grumpy Cat?
Yep, Grumpy Cat owns guns. He actually has pictures of himself hunting and shit like that. Like, just because you're on the left doesn't mean you're anti-capitalist.
Yeah, it does. It means you're anti-capitalist and you're anti-guns.
Anti-guns and Antifa.
Anti-guns?
And Antifa.
I don't think Tim Walz has guns. He looks like the biggest fucking pussy. I don't mean that like Grumpy Cat pussy. I mean like actual, like the metaphorical.
I mean, don't forget he was a soldier and so forth. So look at where he lives. Like that. That's the thing. Democrats and liberals that live, more middle America are a lot different than the Hollywood elites and the left, the far left coast liberals, and they're not the same. Just like not all conservatives are the same across the board. They're not all, pickup truck driving, Confederate flag waving, country music listening, idiots from the Midwest, right? Like, you have a wide spectrum of people. I mean, look at you've got your Vivics and so forth. They're very conservative. There are a lot of, conservative minded minorities, but nobody ever gives them the, the respect or that. I believe that, as a matter of fact, yeah, I think Tim Walz in a different era would have been like probably considered what people would say a moderate, and that's probably why she chose him. I just think we're now in the era of politics where you're one side or the other to the extreme, right? It's vanilla ice.
This podcast is getting as boring as that debate last night.
I don't see. That's the thing, is I'm not one extreme or the other, because if
no fucking lie, Beto, you are so far right, you don't even fucking see it.
Hey, I told you guys when RFK was in, I said it many times, I like this guy and I would vote for this guy. So,
well, look at what they did to him, and they didn't bring that up during. See, here's the question. I know
that's another good one he should have brought up. He should have absolutely brought up that point.
Yeah, RFK's dead to him.
Yeah, but the way that they like Trump brought out how they threw him, Biden out like a dog, but they should have brought up more about the fact that how is this a fair process that you're even on this stage? Because that's what I would have been like. I'm like, why are you even here?
The fact,
because you didn't get voted for.
The fact that we shouldn't
even be having this debate because you weren't even elected to the position that you have right now. You were chosen, and all of the Democrats in the country should be pissed that they don't have their candidate. They got secondhand candidate because the first candidate got tossed out by the people in power, and that's what your party is about.
See, what Trump should have done was cancel the debate and said, I can't debate an illegitimate candidate.
Here's the thing. The fact that we're all discussing what Trump should have done at the debate shows you that Trump fucked up.
Yeah, we've all agreed to that. There's no.
I'm saying that Trump didn't lose. Trump just didn't show up.
That's a stupid saying. There's a winner and there's a loser.
That is.
Just because you lost doesn't mean the other person didn't win.
I'll tell you what, though. Like I said yesterday, virality in this day and age matters, and the simple fact that the whole pets thing is going fucking viral. Viral as fuck means that's going
viral. That's only going viral on your TikTok that you supposedly say is very unbiased. Like on my TikTok, there's nothing about cats.
Yeah,
I'm sure Kevin's the same, but Beto never clicks on likes and stuff. But
I don't like
Only
videos.
only those videos are coming up on Beto's feed. That's funny.
I don't like videos. I'm lying. I do like videos, like recipes and shit like that. But other than
Oh,
that,
so that's why you're getting the cat videos.
oh, they want me to cook cat. Cat à l'orange.
But I'm honestly, I still, both sides are going to make whatever they make out of this debate, out of who, they're going to spar over who looked better, who looked worse, who did what, who didn't do anything. And at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's been. I honestly don't think anybody's been moved any direction that they weren't in before.
No, because there's no such thing,
don't have
man.
any.
I think if I agree with you on Beto, and I mean that's not a bad theory. I could get on board with it. That the elections aren't about people deciding at the last minute. It's about people being excited to vote for a candidate.
It's
I
about
think if
being
you go by that,
excited to show up.
I think Trump.
It's like you the last election, you said you didn't vote, right? Because you weren't
No,
excited enough to show
last
up.
election I voted for JoJo.
There was one election you say you didn't vote.
I didn't.
Jojo
I didn't
Rabbit?
vote before that. I've never voted before that.
Yeah, because you weren't excited. Nobody excited you enough to show up.
Correct. And it's going to be the same thing this time.
But see,
hold
you
on,
have
hold
some.
on. What I'm trying to say though is I think that if you go by that analogy or that theory that it's about exciting voters, which a lot of people do agree with that theory, then I really do think Trump's in a little bit of trouble. I think he does look somewhat lethargic, even at his rallies. Like he's not the old Trump. He just isn't. And I don't know if he's old or because he keeps on talking at his rallies how his team keeps on telling him not to do this, not to do that. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's a combination. I don't know if it's Kevin's theory that Trump really just doesn't care if he wins or not. But something's going on there. And I think that is going to affect him where people are just like, you know what? A lot of Republicans who aren't diehard Trump are going to be like, I'm just going to stay home.
Yeah,
I think that might be the case. I don't think they're going to stay home. And here's the reason why. I think the base is looking at, and that's another problem with this election, right? That I think is happening that nobody's really talking about. Is that I don't think anybody cares about the candidates anymore. I think the situation, I mean, the candidates themselves convincing us. You see what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything that Trump can say, and I don't think there's anything that Kamala can say that's going to sway you. I think people have mostly already decided, and their energy is going to be based on if anything changes on a social level between now and then. Women are all about the women's rights. They think that they're convinced that as soon as they elect Kamala, we're going to get legislation that's going to go right through forever and ever or something like that, and abortion the law of the land, right? And I think with Trump, people are looking at the economy. They're looking at and positive and negatives on both sides. I think a lot of people feel if Kamala wins, their economic situation is either not going to change or it's going to get worse because people are already looking at how bad the economic situation is.
The economy doesn't matter though, Kevin. It's all about abortion.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
if women's rights come back.
But then
my life will be better next year.
No, but what I'm saying
you
is
do have a what have you done for me lately attitude in modern society. Like a lot of people just look at Trump getting assassinated or the assassination attempt on Trump. Like we forgot about that a week after, right? Like nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about RFK anymore. Nobody talks about. There's a lot of things that people just seem to drop. So if you look at the economy and you see inflation numbers came in today and they came in lower than the past 3 years, if the consumer index is high and if the rate dropped by the Fed in the next month, in the next couple of weeks, I think it's like next week or something they're supposed to meet. It could be one of those instances where what have you done for me lately is inflation's back to normal.
But rates are inflation, dropping. Though. That's see, again, you're talking to the smart guy like me.
I know. I'm talking to you right now, but I'm saying that in the general election, the people are going to forget about what happened 4 years ago, and they're going to be like, "Oh, everything's getting better."
You know why I think that's wrong? Again, you're talking to the smart guy or the smart guys. you're forgetting that the average voter is still. What do you think? Just because the fact that inflation itself is down, it doesn't mean suddenly I'm not paying $20 for my fucking burger combo at McDonald's.
Yeah, Beto,
The
but that's
prices aren't
corporate
gonna
greed.
magically come back down to $5.95.
That's
Well, it's like
corporate.
she
Yeah,
said
they
about the
are. They're
housing, right?
McDonald's and Taco Bell and all these people are selling those $5.99 boxes.
I'm talking about in the general economy, prices are not gonna magically come down because all the inflation number means is that prices aren't going up as rapidly anymore. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean prices are coming
I know
down.
what it means, but I'm telling you
Okay,
that.
exactly, because you're a
But the
smart guy. The average voter, they don't fucking know that. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like they're still going to the grocery store and paying fucking $10 for a dozen of
But
eggs.
you can reverse that as well. That psychologically, the voter doesn't know they're still paying blah, but they see that the inflation is only 2.5%. They're like, look, inflation's back down. Not only that, but it's corporate greed, man. You know that.
Yep. Just like
The
her housing
$20
plan.
combo, that's just McDonald's being greedy. Fucking capitalist pigs.
Yeah, but the combo is not anything itself. This is if you look at what the combo is, the combos are nothing but they're nothing but a smoke screen because they're not actually cutting any costs. They're looking at the same items. It's like all the shit from their dollar menu. They're just bundling it all together, but it's also been carefully crafted. So instead of getting like 6 nuggets, oh well, with the new combo meal pack, you get a
4.
double cheese. You get a double cheeseburger.
It's not even a double cheeseburger; it's a McDouble. They can't afford to give you that extra slice of cheese.
I forgot that they stupidly have 2. I forgot because they add an extra slice of cheese, right? Is that what they do?
Which
And
is more delicious. That extra slice of cheese makes a difference.
Yeah, but the fact that it's like $1 something difference between the two.
Oh yeah, no, I always get the McDouble still because but
because
now
you're
I want
cheap.
McDonald's.
You couldn't, but it's like one's a buck, right? And then the other is like
a buck. What the
$2.50.
fuck? What do you think this is?
See, I told
2005?
you, Beto. The average voter has no fucking clue. They just know
Kevin's
that
an average
inflation
voter
is
now.
back down to 2.5%.
Kevin thinks McDouble's $1 fucking 2005. He thinks we're still working at World Savings.
I told you.
What?
I mean,
what's next, Kevin? A fucking $3 pizza at fucking Little Caesars too?
The 99 cent,
the $2.99
the 99-cent Whopper.
No. Remember back when we worked together, the
Oh,
Little
yeah,
Caesars would have like I think once a month or every Tuesday or some shit. It was like $2.99 for a, yeah, it was like $3 for a fucking pizza. That's 2005, Kevin. That doesn't exist anymore. Fucking dollar.
And I think we found the Kamala voter in our group.
Beto, the only reason Beto remembers that is because I used to go get them on my lunch break and put them in my desk drawer and eat all day. That's how fat I was back then.
No, I remember because I could barely even afford gas to get to work back then.
Yeah, back then. We were working.
Now you can afford gas.
We were working for a major bank in IT department in a major bank. And we were like living like not just paycheck to paycheck, but it was like, whoo, if I can just get some gas.
Yeah. Now I can afford $10 eggs and then go egging.
Well, you are better off than you were back then. Even with prices being higher.
We used to go to I used to go to the HEB, the grocery store around the corner. Remember, that was the only thing down there on 604 on my lunch break and buy like a 99-cent loaf of bread. You know those packaged lunch meats? It's like Buddings or whatever.
99.
Like
back then, bread was like 59 cents.
Oh,
no, Kevin used to go for the.
Kevin was buying the fancy like Mrs. Baird's or Buttercrust.
Yeah, I was making.
All I could afford was a 49-cent Hill Country Fare from HEB
with sesame seeds and.
Yeah, I was making sandwiches in my desk at work, and now but you know what? I know why Beto. That this brings up a good point. You should. This is how I'm saying it's not swaying anybody. It should be all about Kamala. He should have a Kamala. Even look, and by the way, get off Trump's ass about pronouncing her name because even I can't, and I challenge 90% of the damn people on her
Yeah, who
side are
gives a
still
fuck about that?
well, 90% of the people are still mispronouncing her name. Okay,
But who gives a shit?
they're on
If
her
somebody
side.
calls me, so next time somebody calls me like Beto or Beto or Jose, I'm supposed to correct them and be like, it's not Jose, it's Jose.
Well, we remember that you're Beto because you're named
It's
after Beto O'Rourke.
it's not Taco Bell, it's Taco Bell.
But she
You
said
know,
her
fuck those
plan.
people, man.
She said her plan is to build, get with builders. She's going to give it builders, start building a ton of new homes. Beto, that's you.
Nah,
So you're about
I
to
don't want
roll
it.
in the money, bro.
I don't want it.
You're about
Not
to
like
roll in
that.
the government. They're going to be building homes. All
Not
these,
like that.
it's going to be like
When Beto sells the house, when Kamala's president, Beto's gonna sell the house. One of his questions is gonna be, "Did you get any money from Kamala
Yeah.
to buy it?" Yeah, nope. Get
No,
the
you
fuck
can't have
out of here.
Can't have it.
But you know what? How the thing is, it's not the fact that people aren't building enough houses for people. It's the fact that people can't afford to live in the houses we have. And this talk of building like these, they're going to be. She's talking about we're getting to build bigger complexes and more homes. What they're talking about is building like apartment type complexes and so forth. You know who did this to quell their housing issue? China, North Korea, right? Russia, where they have just blocks and blocks of these, basically project housing.
high
Hey, man,
rises.
don't be a fucking liar. This is in South Korea too, and they're a democratic country. This is also in Japan. Why you gotta
Yeah,
bring up only the bad countries that did it?
no,
Like
because
South Korea is one of the world's fastest growing economies for the past 20 years, and they did this.
yeah, but it's a culture, right? Because South Korea they may
When South Korea
be
does
a
it, it's a culture.
democracy. They may be
When North Korea does it,
They're fucking socialist pigs.
no. What I'm saying is, but the mentality is still the same. Especially throughout the Asiatic countries, they still have a mentality of the individual is not greater than the whole, right? They may have democracy as a government, but the mentality and culture of the people is still weird. It's Eastern philosophy, right? Where they're still, in many ways, if you look at them, would be considered socialist if you put those same things into practice here in the U.S.
and you can still eat your pets.
We want to have our own lawns and our own houses, right?
You can still eat your pets over there, and you don't get shit for it.
That's why all their dogs are indoors and they're on YouTube, right? Like they have. That's why TikTok. It's like they all have that's why they sit and watch them, because it's like, I don't know. It's like us with our food TikToks. Oh shit! Cut that out, Javi. This sounds racist as fuck.
Anyways,
So
listen,
final word then.
final word, Kevin.
Final question. So neither of you were swayed in any way. Or let me ask this. Are either of you swayed to inaction?
Inaction?
As in not voting for either.
Yeah.
Like neither one. I'm not convinced to go. I'm not any more convinced to go vote for Kamala than I am to not go vote for Trump, right? Like the energy you were talking about, Beto, where people are deciding to vote not to do certain things.
I am still not voting for either candidate. Again, I understand Kamala's policies, and I don't like them very much right now. And Trump, I can't get behind him, man. Sorry.
I think that's it. I think for me, you're absolutely. I think Juan finally put it into words that I couldn't.
Finally, Juan has an articulated thought.
No.
I'm like Trump. I finally became Kamala.
No, he's described my feelings. Like I didn't know how I felt about it until Juan put it. He finally put words to it.
Hey, his name's Juan. Juan.
Yeah, you fucking racist.
Look, I just call him John. Okay, that's just what my people do, and and we can't be racist anyhow. Not down here. Black folks can't be racist. It's y'all is racist. Y'all the white ones to me. You see what I'm doing? I'm code switching. If Kamala can do it, but anyway, let me give a good point because I got to go wash some greens in my bathtub.
That's so fucking gross too.
But I'm not like I can't vote for Trump because of who he is, what he does, what he's saying. You know, what I mean, like I can't vote for him because of him, but I can't vote for Kamala because of what the policies she's previously endorsed and the policies that she endorses in the future. You know, what's telling, you know, and I'm not even, it doesn't come down to even the abortion debate for me, right? Like, I don't care that I said this to Juan earlier. I feel like the Democrats don't realize that they're getting what they wanted in the way the Republicans want it. And I think it's like nobody understands that everybody's getting when they tout this thing that there are Republicans and when it's put on the ballots in the states, it's getting overwhelmingly voted for, positively. People want women's rights and women's bodies and abortion, and it's like, do you not realize that getting rid of Roe v. Wade was you're doing what they wanted? The reason Roe v. Wade was overturned is so that it can be a state's issue. And then the states are doing
they pretend like he banned abortion nationwide or some shit.
And then the problem with that is that they can use that because there are some Republicans who have said before that they're for a national abortion ban.
Sure,
that's what fucks you up. That's what fucks the left up with the far left, is that they say stupid shit like Palestine are the heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we can't.
Well, I mean, there are
Israel
some
is
people in abortion
devil
that are fine with up to 8 and 9 months. And I noticed Kamala did not answer that question when Trump put it to her, by the way.
Yeah,
she could put, and he should have went back instead of going back to stupid ass shit like he did last night, where he wants to go back to cats and dogs. He should have been like, on that previous question I asked her, is it okay or is she in support of abortion up to 7, 8, 9 months? And she didn't answer. I'd like to hear an answer to that. I'll even give the rest of my time to her to hear the answer to that.
Yeah, he should have stuck to it and not answered any other question until she answered that question.
Well, no, instead he went back to he went back to the damn Haitians and their cat eating ways, right? Like,
and
why is dog and cat? That's the next thing. If I need to coach Trump, come to me. I will coach you for the next debate. When the next cat thing, I want you to make an argument. What's wrong with it? That is their cuisine. We don't make fun of sushi, right? That is what the Japanese eat. That is, like different eating cultures eat different things. And these are hungry immigrants. Now, unfortunately, your dog is a casualty of a broken system.
Hey, he should before
That's
eating.
That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad.
The cat ladies wouldn't have cats anymore.
And Kamala could win too on that. Kamala could be like, well, you know what? This is why we need to give these people 10K debit cards or funding for the immigrants, so they won't be so hungry that they have to eat neighborhood pets and cats. Damn, why am I not running these elections for people?
So here's my final thoughts. First off, on abortion, I'll entertain abortion and women's rights when I get my wallet rights. When I get to abort my wallet in terms of supporting a kid, then I'll think about it, because it can't be one way. It can't all be one direction, one way, period. In my opinion.
You're saying that if since it's a woman's choice in her body and her choice, then it should be the male's choice. When she takes that elective, right, to decide that she is not going to have that she's going to have an abortion, that should automatically absolve the male.
Whoa. I think the male should be able to abort himself out of that relationship.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It absolves the male from any financial.
Yeah, you can't have it one way only. Fuck that. What happened to equal rights?
Yeah,
drizzle, bitch. Right.
I mean,
so okay.
Did she say pull out at the end of that? If not, then she didn't. If she
let
him
just the way the dude was, right?
Yeah, but what happened to accountability? What happened to accountability? If you stick your dick in somebody, you might have a baby.
I'm not. If you open your legs, you might have a baby.
No, because
I'm just saying. I'm not even saying I'm for abortion. I'm just simply saying, if we're gonna be fair about it, it's either all one way or the other. Like, don't give me this half and half bullshit. Like, don't say oh, we're for abortion, but then you still got to pony up your wallet, right? It's either you're for that and you're also for me being able to abort myself out of this bitch, or you're anti-abortion and then you make me pay, right? So I would just like it. All I'm asking for is consistency. I'm not even saying it's right one way or the other. I'm still kind of undecided, to be honest with you. I don't really know how to feel about the whole abortion debate.
It's not
I
my
just want it to be fair and consistent.
It's not my business. My attitude is always I can be personally against something, but think that it's okay for other
Well,
people
yeah,
to
it's
do.
not my business, but
Like,
then where I have
no,
trouble,
I mean,
there's
like,
a whole other episode, right? But where I have trouble with abortion sometimes mentally is, at what point is it too late? Like, at what point is it like, okay, yeah, you probably shouldn't be aborting at month 8.5.
I told you that last night. It's too
yeah,
late
that's what
when
we're
they're
talking
5
about.
years old. By that point, you already know if your kid's going to be a little asshole and if you need to abort it.
Yeah. So that's my take on that.
Post-birth abortion,
On your
like
my
4.
final thoughts on who I'm voting for is, like I said this earlier. I'm a petty bitch. I like, again, see, my whole thing, my whole life is I like fairness and consistency, period. Like, that's just, I can't deviate from that much. I just can't, like, mentally, I can't bring myself to deviate. So when I see unfairness, it's just, I'm gonna be a petty bitch and I'm gonna vote for the guy that I see the whole system turned against. Or at least not the whole system, but I'm exaggerating a bit, but you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I see a 3-on-1 debate last night, and I can't help but feel like, you know what? Fuck you, ABC. Because if you were fair, then I might be a little more open to maybe not even voting at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the simple fact that the system seems so skewed to the left consistently pisses me off enough to want to go vote for him just to see the left cry about it. And that's my final thought on that.
My final thought on this whole fucking thing is let Trump lose, man. Let him lose. Give him the fucking, let go of the fucking leash. Let's see what happens. He's losing right now anyways. Just let him fucking go. Let's see if he can change the whole fucking thing around.
I would love.
That is not an endorsement of Trump.
I would love for them to drop. I would love to see Republicans the same stunt and be like, we want to drop, like, start a campaign, get online.
You know, that wouldn't be a terrible strategy if you're talking like party as a whole, because it would be like, you know what? Yeah, he's too old. We've decided now.
Nikki Haley, here you go.
Dude, that would be. I don't know about Nikki Haley.
Right?
I could not get behind Nikki Haley, but
Nikki Haley would fucking tear through this thing.
She might. She just nags way too. She comes off as this nagging, pissed off, like a nagging, pissed off girlfriend or wife. I've been there with
who comes out
girlfriends
more
in the past.
nagging? Who comes out more nagging, her or DeSantis?
Probably DeSantis.
Yeah,
with his little bitch voice. Well, you know, shut up.
Either
bitch.
way, you're gonna come out with a naggy wife, bitchy girlfriend. So you're either gonna get Kamala or you get Nikki Haley. Which one?
I honestly don't. I honestly don't think Nikki Haley is naggy. I really like Nikki Haley during the primaries. I shouldn't, because she's like one of those, typical conservative Republicans, for war, for the, the military complex. I shouldn't like her, but I actually did like her. So I really think if Nikki Haley would run against Kamala, Nikki would completely demolish her.
The Democratic ticket I could get behind is RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard.
But they're not Democrats.
I get behind that ticket. Yeah, but semantics.
You get behind that ticket.
Yeah, I could be.
If you Republicans, I mean,
RFK's pretty jacked, man.
We saw it. We just saw it happen. By the way, I don't know if you guys.
You get pretty jacked when you're constantly carrying baby cubs into forests and chainsawing whale heads.
Yeah, fucking. I've seen videos of that dude fucking catching snakes and shit. Like,
he's like Putin.
That dude is he's a bit of a badass, man. I mean, he's a man's man. RFK Jr. is a man's man.
He and Putin get on horses and go hunting fucking Grizzlies with bows
Shirtless.
and arrows. Yeah.
Exactly. And I noticed that's another thing I noticed Kamala didn't have an answer for when Trump was talking about like when she's like, yeah, well, he's talking
Hey,
to his
Kevin, we
best
already
friend.
left the debate conversation. We're on our final thoughts.
Yeah, but I know, but what I'm
Hey, how
pointing
long
out
are
is-
these final thoughts? 30 minutes?
Well, I thought I had ended it pretty good with like all hyped up, like let Trump go, and then Kevin's
Well,
like, you know what I would, and then he's like completely brought the whole fucking thing back down.
Well, I'm just saying Juan is the example because we just saw it happen in real time, and I don't know if you guys caught it. When I said if Trump is removed and Nikki Haley's thrown in, Juan suddenly switched his side. He said he'd be all for voting.
No,
for
man,
Nikki
he's
Haley, right?
pandering.
But no, you're talking about whether it's energizing the base.
Juan's
or it's-
pandering to you. He wants you
No.
to think he's impartial and an independent, but he's not. He's pandering.
I don't think so. I think honestly that I think you can just change. I think people.
I do
the middle
like Nikki
people vote
Haley.
emotionally.
I think I like Nikki Haley because Nikki Haley has her thoughts, right? She has her policies. However, she's pragmatic when she was at the debates on what she has the power to do and what she has the power to not do. So she didn't just go around promising like like she said it very articulate. I can't pass a national abortion ban. Quit telling people that we don't have votes for that. Like
You know
she's
what I
very
could get
pragmatic
behind?
about it.
I could get behind Nikki Haley if she was a VP to like a Vivek.
But Vivek, the problem with Vivek, and you said it last night, is that he doesn't appeal to people.
No, he's too smart. He needs to tone it down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if the Republicans would really like seriously consider replacing Trump, it's got to be one of those candidates that appeals to the mass of people. It's got to be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know who else it would be besides Nikki Haley.
Vivek
Maybe
is too brown.
DeSantis. But yeah, Vivek. Well, I mean,
He's
saw
a brown smart guy. It's like a double whammy.
Well, it is because as much as we like to like, and this is the extreme right. I'm not saying all conservatives are, but the extreme right did hit a little bit at JD Vance's wife because she is brown. You know, so you do have that kind of thing. Like, well, Vivek. I mean, Nikki Haley is also brown, but she doesn't exude brownness.
She doesn't
I guess.
look
I don't know.
brown. She looks white.
Yeah.
You know, I want to make something clear though. When I'm saying people don't change their minds, I'm talking more once the candidates are established. That's what I mean. Like, what I mean is you have Trump, Harris. People have already made up their minds because they already have a formed opinion on Trump. I don't mean cross parties. I just mean cross candidates. You're not going to have people on the sidelines trying to decide. They've already decided. I don't mean party because I'm one of those. I would have totally voted for RFK or Tulsi Gabbard because I agree with a lot of the shit that they talk about. So I'm willing to cross party line, or now they're not Democrats, but I would have been willing to. But I just that's what I mean. I just want to clarify that. Bitch. And with that,
let us know what you think about the debate, what you thought about the debate. Do they need to let Trump go and be himself?
I mean, I think that'd be my
Bitch.
thing for the next election. I think not the next section. If they have a
No
Hey,
more.
hey,
Kevin,
we're
no
not
more.
starting another show. God damn it!
I'm not. I'm just.
God damn it, Reggie Ray.
I'm saying if you have a second debate, yeah, should Trump just? I mean, he has to lose, right? Like at this point, people say he lost this one. He's already showing the polls. Next debate, just go full retirement plan, right? Like with Trump, just say whatever, and then let it be.
Put the fries in the bag, bro. Just take one dip and end it.
All right, let's get out of here so I can go get my McDouble with the small fry and 4 nuggets
and only 1 slice of cheese.
And a small drink for $5. And every single one of those things on that menu is like
it would have been $4.49 on its own, but now I got to pay $5.
Not me, gentlemen. Not me. I am doing better than I was 4 years ago. So I'm gonna go get that $20 combo that was talking about.
Kevin's going to McDonald's. Juan is going to Five Guys.
Yeah, I can take Five Guys anytime.
I'm not going. I'm going out on the street and looking for whatever dogs and cats.
See y'all later.
Get the George Foreman. Just like there's some people out there who, like watching, who would pay big money to watch me put my feet in like pudding so they can jack off to it.
Well,
Shut up, bitch.